Thank you so much for your presence and for your support to the ERF. And we are looking forward today to receive your inputs, your feedback on how we are performing. I think from where we sit, this is an opportunity for us to improve in our programming and also to improve in our service deliveries and engagement with our stakeholders. So we really thank your presence here. You realize that in this room today, we have a diverse group of participants from the private sector, from the CBO, NGOs, from academic institutions, faith-based organizations, traditional authorities. I think that, that indicates how our stakeholders' proudness in terms of engagement is with the EIF. Because when we talk about environmental issues, it's cutting across all stakeholders, be it finance, water, conservation, energy, etc. So that makes our work very, very difficult to do because of different interests from these stakeholders, and how do we meet our interests is a challenge to us, and that's why we've called up this stakeholders engagement session. This session will be annually going forward, mainly to guide our implementation and our planning, as well as to improve participation and access to the EIF. One of the criticisms that we have received is that information of the EIF is only reserved for the elites. Only those on website, social media, Facebook, etc. But we're trying to address that, go on the radio, go on newspapers, on TV, and all media platforms, so that we engage as many stakeholders as possible. So my duty today is extremely simple. Just to introduce the ERF, what we've done over the past few years, what we've learned, the opportunities going forward, and also seeking for reactions and feedback from the participants. Over the past, let me say 6 years, we have learned that the SDG number 17 is extremely an important goal. That is a partnership goal to support the other 16 SDGs. We've heard in the speech that the current NDC requires about $5 billion to implement. The NDC is a country commitment on addressing climate change mitigation and adaptation. But yesterday I've learned that the new revised ones requires about $270 billion to execute by 2030. In US dollars, that will be around $15 billion, $9 billion for mitigation, $5 billion, $6 billion for adaptation. That requires strategic partnership in terms of raising such funding, because 90% of such funding should come from development finance institutions, multilateral climate funds, and also international investors. And that calls for strategic dialogue, strategic thinking on how we attract such big sums of funding. And hence, this dialogue today is extremely important. For a number of reasons. One is really to see how we can improve our engagement with international relations in terms of accessing funding from international partners. Two, how we can improve our governance at the ERF, extremely important because funding follows where it is utilized best. How we can trickle down the funding that we receive to support support the economic development of this country. We address social progression, social issues that are related to climate change, environmental sustainability, and biodiversity conservation, as well as mobilizing resources at scale. You know, we heard of the numbers, so we need to mobilize those resources at huge amounts. Just getting back to the EIF, I just want to touch on our mandate. Our mandate is mainly resource mobilization. That's fundraising for natural resource management, biodiversity conservation, and climate change in the country. And we deploy such proceeds through grants, loans. We've also got bursaries, sponsorship, and recently we've included debt instruments, and we are working on equity through unlisted, investment vehicles. So we work with a variety of stakeholders, in the country. We work with NGOs. Mainly the NACSO is one of our very important, associations that we work with, and I'm glad to see the NACSO members in this room today, and we hope to receive some feedback on how we collaborate and work with NACSO. I see Ms. Maxi Louis there. I see the Executive Director of the Namibia Nature Foundation as well. So we really thank you for coming here. We work with state organs, private sectors. We work with individuals, etc. The list goes on. Yeah? So those are our priorities that we've pursued over the past 4 years. We've pursued climate change, both adaptation and mitigation. Biodiversity conservation that entails natural resource management, CBN and RFM, terrestrial ecosystem management, and then waste management that we are currently executing and supporting. We're also into intervention that deals with sustainable land management. So that is a whole lot if you start to unpack those 4 investment focus. So that's our structure as EIF. At a high level partnership, we really prioritize the government line ministries, our civil society organization, our multilateral environmental and climate funds, private sectors, especially the ones in the financing space, bilateral agencies. We work very closely with bilateral agencies as well, such as the French development agencies that continue to support us on different levels. So we do have different portfolios and program, and then project in terms of levels of execution. So I'll go a little bit further on those programs and projects that we are currently undertaking. We also provide services for hosting of entities. Currently, we host the UNDP Small Grants Program, as well as the Game Product Trust Fund, in terms of supporting fund administration for those entities. We also do a lot of management on behalf of stakeholders, mainly the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, where we manage a couple of their projects in terms of providing administrative and financial support. So you can see just some of our key stakeholders. Again, not exhaustive. If your logo is not there, just forgive us. We'll include the conservancies in the future. I think the page will need about 10 pages in terms of our stakeholders engagement. But some of those that we work with very closely on a daily basis with different, funding mechanisms, you find that we do have the international partners, which is the likes of EU, FMO, Invest International, the Climate Fund Managers, the Green Climate Fund, Adaptation Fund, etc. And then we do have the UN Feminists, that's UNDP, where we manage a couple of projects, and execute together with the Ministry of Environment and Tourism. The DBSA work very closely with them. African Development Bank, SADC, DFC, etc. Then from the private national work with a couple of private sectors. All the commercial banks, we do have good relationship with them in terms of climate financing. The NAXO, which I just alluded to, Agribank and Namibia, just to mention a few. And just a milestone, I don't want to repeat what my board members has indicated, but for the past 6 years, actually it should be 3.5 billion that we've raised over the past 6 years. So we've been having a monitoring and evaluation system where we monitor the impact and how these funding benefits our communities. So far we stated 230,000 direct and indirect beneficiaries. So it's extremely very important, difficult to qualify that. But we do have a matrix that we've come up with that records such numbers. As we work with different donor funding, we are required to be accountable to the donors and development partners that we serve. And over the past 5 years, we've undertaken more than 52 audits, external audits, and you can just imagine 52 audits is quite a lot within the space of 6 years. So on average, we spend about how much? Almost 9 audits per year, on different projects. So most of them we've signed 28 funding agreements with different agencies. DFIs, multilateral environmental funds, and donors, philanthropic individuals. We also have got 282 partnerships that we've created through different levels of engagement. This would be like grant financing, lines of credit, bursaries, academic research, MOUs with different government entities. Just to touch on the private sector facility that we worked on, I think this came to an end in March last year, and this was a 46 million euro credit facility from the African Development Bank through a program called the Sustainable Utilization of Natural Resources and Energy Financing Program. We worked extremely well with Bank Pinto, First National Bank and Nedbank, and they were able to deploy the allocation through different different projects that we financed through that facility. The ERF hosted the technical assistance facility. That means providing some of the origination and technical supports to the bank, working together in marketing as well as in supporting proponents submitting those business plans to the bank. So that is one of the one of the projects supported, financed under this program. If I stand to be corrected, but I think it was financed through Benedict. Benedict, yeah, you can see Clay is smiling. Yeah. And then we do have a GCF portfolio of about 43 million US dollars that we've accessed so far. But with the 4 projects that are 4 projects in terms of size, then we've got about 5 readiness small grants that supports the preparation of preparatory work for country and as well as climate readiness for country for Namibia to be specific. So 2 of those projects have come to an end. 2 of them are still ongoing, and the ones that have come to an end are the climate resilient agriculture project that has been implemented in the 2 Kavango regions and the Zambezi region, as well as the Empower to Adapt, which was a grant-making project for the community-based natural resource management program. We still have the rangeland and ecosystem management project for the Kunene region that's ongoing. And today this evening, we'll witness the beginning of the grant program under the building resilience on the ecosystem-based adaptation. Those are the UNDP projects that we've done, very, very impactful. The financing of SDG 1, 2, 3 is directly to individuals, targeting micro and small medium enterprises. We've worked with Standard Bank on this one in terms of blending a grant and a credit line facility. Nila Lake is ongoing as a landscape approach for livelihood program. So there are some grants component that the Environmental Investment Fund is managing. So we also got the Triple B with UNDP, that is Build Back Better, which is an urban sustainable agricultural program that's promoting peri-urban and urban agricultural activities at household and individual level. Yeah, is it visible? Looks like it's not visible. Huh? Most importantly, over the past year, we've started working on green hydrogen. Our responsibility on green hydrogen is more on financial structuring. So you realize that over the past 2 years, Namibia is embarked on an ambitious program to be one of the global players on green hydrogen. Our role as the ERFD is that we were given a task to come up with financing solution for green hydrogen. And we've established the Namibia Green Hydrogen Fund Managers together with the Climate Fund Managers and Invest International from the Netherlands. This entity is now up and running. The CEO position was advertised. It closed last week Friday. So we hope by at least end of August we will have the staff members in that office. ERF has equity of 49% in the NAM H2 fund managers. And we have already raised about 40 million euros for that fund, and the agreement is signed off. We have started with fundraising to targeting about 1 billion euros by end of this year. In terms of the green hydrogen investment is through that fund. At the moment, we are reviewing a term sheet from the European Investment Bank of about 500 million euros. So we will keep the public informed on how we are progressing with the green hydrogen investments in the country. Most importantly, we do have the Green Impact Facility, which is a blended financing platform for SMEs. Because we've realized the importance of partnership, this facility is deployed through fund managers. So we've signed agreements with 2 fund managers to deploy this facility. It provides concessional loans up to 2 million Namibian dollars to micro enterprises. It is a prime minus, I think 4% in terms of interest fees. There's a repayment period of 1 to 8 years, and we're looking at extending that period so that it's easy for SMEs and micro enterprises to honor their obligations. And by end of this year, we target to disperse about 72 million through those funds. You are welcome to apply for your small medium loans. And the entities that we work with is Congaland. You can go on their website or visit their office and submit your business plan. The other one is Bellatrix, SME Financing. So these 2 are specialized micro-lending and financing entities, and they've got the capabilities to deploy this allocation. So we really encourage especially youth and women in businesses to apply for those grants. Not grants, concessional loans. Our board members alluded to the number of boreholes that were retrofitted and rehabilitated over the last year. So that's just a breakdown showing where those boreholes are in each region. I'm sorry for commerce, we haven't done much in terms of footprint, but this is because that there is very little space for us, because there's no communal areas in commerce, very limited. This is a testimony from Valerie, one of our proud recipients of our small stock revolving scheme. She received 21 goats, and when we went back after 1 year, she had more than 46 goats, and she was proud to indicate to us that she's able to support a family of 21 dependents in terms of providing livelihoods and providing social services to those in need. Our lessons is that I think partnership is key. We need to leverage on expertise and resources that our partners have. Instead of doing it alone at the ERF, we should work with partners. It's extremely important. We realize that we've grown so much within a short time, and we can't hide away from it that we're challenged with human resources. And the only way we can do this is to execute and implement some of our projects, or if not all of them, through our partners that have got specialized skills to do so. Grants should be implemented to grant partners. Loans should be executed through a specialized SME, like we have done with the Sunrise program, we've done with the Green Impact Facility. We also learned that we need to start programming at scale through programmatic framework. Instead of concentrating on small projects, we need bigger projects that have got bigger impacts, especially on resilience, livelihoods, and adaptation. That is hugely required to access funding at scale. Capacity will remain a challenge because there's a lot of demand from our donors. So we need really to develop such capacity, and we're working on our capacity strategy to make sure that we conform with the requirements and the expectation of our first donors, and then secondly, those that we interact with, the beneficiaries, stakeholders that we execute our projects together. This is our pipeline activities, or what we intend to do in the next 1 year. Extremely high level activities. We are launching our accreditation to the Adaptation Fund. At the same time, we've started with developing proposal to up to 40 million Namibian dollars, 40 million US dollars. That's around about 250 million Namibian dollars. We are working on upgrading our accreditation category to the Green Climate Fund, so that we access funding at scale. At the moment, we are only accredited at 10 million US dollars per project, but within the next year, we'll be accredited for 50 million US dollars per project. But still with the Green Climate Fund, it's worth noting that we are already developing 2 concept notes. We've developed 2 concept notes. We're developing 2 proposals to the tune of about 400 million dollars to be submitted to the GCF for funding. That is in the area of marine ecosystem, adaptation, as well as urban sustainable agriculture. We will continue our fundraising activities. Extremely important, because that's our core mandate, is resource mobilization. Most importantly is for the NH2 fund managers, which is the Green Hydrogen Fund. There's a lot of expectation, and that's the EIF is undertaking. We'll continue to introduce, innovative programs. We're looking at really how do we amplify blended financing ecosystems. How do we work with the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Tourism on carbon markets? They've done good work as the enabling environment with support from UNDP and the government of Japan. We're looking at green attributes for products, especially for the private sector. So these will be green attributes that will fetch a premium on products that are produced through an environmentally friendly processes. So those are innovations that will be undertaking within the next year. And lastly, we'll be dealing with the waste management financing facility. We want to reclaim Namibia as the cleanest country in Africa. So that is what we want to do. So, and that work will start within the next 4 months or so. So there's a lot of opportunities to collaborate with stakeholders. We should move from competition to collaboration because the space is just too big for us, and the more we collaborate, the more we access this funding at scale. So that is what we've learned, and that's the opportunity going forward. We'll engage vigorously, we'll engage the international and multilateral environmental and climate funds, DFIs, on resource mobilization. At the same time, we will not forget our partners, especially local level partners, community-based organizations, the CB, the NGOs and private sector, extremely important to guide our resource mobilization efforts. So in conclusion, I just want to thank your participation, your presence in this stakeholders engagement, and the power of collaboration will be extremely important in enhancing climate financing. And I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who's present here today for gracing this occasion.